I'm doing one of those things where I stay indoors and I eat a lot of M&Ms, and I eat like a suicidal amount of M&Ms, and I get really sick. It's right before I'm supposed to do stuff that's important to me, that I consider important. I need to act on, and do decisively, and I think it's kind of like a panic attack, and it kind of feels endless, and it's pretty awful, and it goes on for about a day or two, and then there's a sudden burst of energy afterwards, usually, hopefully, or else the project that I worry about falls apart. And it's one of those things where you're on the computer and you just don't feel very good. And I can hear a parent's voice on the phone a lot, and in some ways it's the same conversations that I've heard for years, and sometimes it's very hard to hear those conversations, though they're very innocent. So this is probably the best way to deal with a panic attack, I think, is to simply make a blog entry. It's pretty damn simple. Don't know really what to say besides that, though. Well, wait, okay. I'm watching King Kong, the later version, the most recent one, and Naomi Watts is good. And there's not a whole lot of detail, in the characters, and they're all very generic characters. I mean, not that the first one was, I don't know, I haven't seen the end of it, I haven't gotten to the end, but I really love the end of the first one where it's just the droning sound of the planes for like 10 minutes. It's really great, and Naomi Watts is doing a good job, as she usually does, I think. But there should be just a little bit more idiosyncrasy in the characters. They're all very much types, and the whole fun of big things like this is that there's a little bit of character moments, very specific details that would come from strange situations in a varied cast or crew. And that's not there, and I think you just can't, you run out of time to work on that when you're making a picture that involves thousands of people and millions of dollars. You sometimes forget to get to tell the little parts of the story, which are the best parts of the story. I think I would have liked it if Naomi Watts was in one of Adrian Brody's play, and instead of being broken up when they get to New York, or however many months later, and the play was very pretentious, socialist stuff without a whole lot of characterization either, just very didactic, and if she was bored in it, and bored with Adrian Brody, I think that would have been an interesting thing to happen, as opposed to them being apart. I couldn't really tell. I haven't really been paying attention, but it seems like they have broken up, and Kong will bring them back together, but I would like for her just to leave him for Kong. I think would be really great, and like random cave bugs eating Lumpy the cook's head in that sequence. That was really generic and seemed kind of pointless, just like, we have some special effects and we're just going to kill off some people because we're really bored and we don't really have anything to say right now. And I hope that once you make a movie that's so bloated that you can come back from it. I think you can. Just start with characters and then move those characters to the world that you've created for the characters. And there's not a whole lot of complexity or touching on or criticism in terms of all the kind of messed up subtext of the original movie, and there's just a kind of a treatment of the original movie like it was a period piece, like we're interpreting Shakespeare and we must make everything twice as long and slow. And I didn't mind some things that I thought would be really bad, like the Mr. Hayes and Jimmy relationship. I mean, I'd read that it was horrible. It was okay. The actors did a good job, I think, for what it was. Yep. I haven't finished watching it. I like that they're in New York and the central couple is just re-met. I really don't know why I'm talking so much about King Kong. This is so much better though than just staring like with an open mouth at a computer and feeling really, really shitty. So this is 100 times better, talking about King Kong. Yep. Oh, I really do like the idea of a filmmaker that comes to terms with the idea that he keeps killing off members of his crew just for his self-interest. There's something there. I like that. I think that's neat, and I wish they had more to that, you know, more Jack Black coming up with different excuses why he's letting people die for no reason. I thought the Islanders were pretty damn generic, and it should have had some, I don't know, just more people who seem like humans in the movie, just, you know, like a few minutes with the waking up process of the writer character, a few minutes with every character in their little world, and just a few sketches of details of non-generic characterization. It's all movies need, really, sometimes, and it's so easy to provide that, and so many do not have that, and viewers can't change that, and it's often amazing how much they rely on movies to provide them entertainment, and how much they're willing to sit through so much dreck that doesn't really entertain them and does nothing for them and provides them no real intellectual or emotional stimulation. And any that they do by filling themselves in the margins on details, and God, that sounds really, really pretentious myself. I didn't mean to imply that socialism was pretentious in any way. I just figured 1930s writers, that's kind of a stereotype of them. It's really boring. What's the name? Brecht dramas, or Brechtian, or I'll just shut up. But all the different blockbusters and the way they're in the world, and sometimes they're just these lifeless things, and they're propaganda, and they're awful, and there's really nothing to them, and I really, really like it when people really, really want a movie to be good, and they have their emotional or their imagination, like with things with fan bases like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. They're invested in these movies, and the movies they don't perform for them appropriately, and I love that because I think it's insane that people rely on a business, multi-million business opportunity or movement or something from the west coast of Hollywood to shape their inner lives, and they can't do it themselves, and they have to spend money, and they can't. This is a long time theory, but anyway, the American movie-going public is impotent. That's what I gotta say. I'm just digging myself a deeper hole here. King Kong. I'm watching it very slowly over the course of like 5 days on TiVo.